Hey, Mr. Parker.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. Let's make sure people are on this correct link because we had a little switch up at the last minute.
Hmm. Oh yeah, people are asking if there's a passcode.
I don't think there is. Is there?
Yeah, Lisa Miller and Taylor Moore are asking like passcode. Like, is there a password?
Well, let's see if I can share the whole link then. It's in our Facebook group. That's where I share. I think we share it here in this in the invite link here. If you go into participants, you'll see copy invite link here in Zoom. Hey, Taylor.
How are we doing?
There's the man.
Got all confused today.
Yeah, my bad.
I know it's fine. I finally figured it out. Now I'm just trying to get it changed in my calendar.
Yeah. Same for my calendar too.
I do like the new format though. I'm kind of excited of, it gives you a little bit more structure. Now, did you go to Stanford?
I've hired from Stanford, but I didn't go to Stanford.
You didn't. Who did you run for? I thought it was Stanford.
SMU undergrad. So Southern Methodist in Dallas.
Dallas. I just always pictured in my head incorrectly California.
Oh, I've been in California forever. That's probably why a lot of people think I'm from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So lived there a long time and grew up in LA.
On the show today.
All right. Well, I think a couple people are going to be joining, but we've got a lot of audits to cover. Who's calling me?
Now, I will tell you that the link that you just put into the chat required a password. That one didn't get me in here. Your assistant put a comment on the link from a couple days ago,
Dan, we're
and
teaching our
that's what
mastermind.
got
You want to
me.
join us?
Oh, where are you?
We're teaching our weekly mastermind.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I said I had a few minutes. So you called me like I said I had
I'll
15. So I think you called me 25, 30 minutes after, but
I'll go in there. I'll go in there now. I just finished a coaching
all
call.
right,
Bye.
great. See you there. Well, Leanna will join us. Okay, good. There we go. There she is.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello. So who wants to do some audits? I think it's nice to audit yourself and it's nice to audit other people's sites. And I feel like if you can't pass the audit yourself, you shouldn't be telling other people how to do it. So in the last 24 hours, some people hit me up for audits, and I thought I would show you what my technique is. And then if you want to be audited or you have something to audit, put it in. And this auditing is so important, especially as part of the areyougooglable.com, that I figured we do this every other week. And typically we've done our coaching where it's been a mix of like general Q&A and coaching, which is great. I don't mind doing some of that. But auditing or optimization or looking at real data is just so much more powerful than a lot of like, well, what if I did this or what if I did that, right? Because anybody can do strategy coaching, but when you have a repeatable technique on how to fix things, it's way better than, well, should I do a personal brand site or should I launch a new product or whatever? Well, let's use the data to answer the question. So here we go. So this one lady was introduced to us through Tony. I'm in a mastermind with him. And you can see yesterday afternoon, Tony says, Brittany, I'd like to introduce you to Dennis. He's the SEO expert. And I said, happy to help. And I said, well, clicking on her profile, it looks like she's got an HVAC company, Brittany Brandt. And I looked at this, and turns out that this wasn't even her site, even though the #1 ranking site for Brandt HVAC is this company in Iowa. Her actual site was DR0 and can't even find her. So I said, well, you should find out if you're Googleable or not. And then this is the one that they own. So I said, okay. So here's how I look at these things when they just come to me. And we're trying to build a SaaS tool that could basically do what I've been doing, dozens of hundreds of times, actually. It's all being recorded. So what's the first thing I look for when we come to a site? Well, I want to know what their goals, content, and targeting are. So what result do they achieve? Measurable. Usually it's going to be phone calls or leads or money, not traffic, not followers, but the real business result. Who do they do it for, and how do they do it? Well, with local businesses, it's very easy. An HVAC company is fixing air conditioners for people in a particular city. And we know what the price point is. We know that leads generally should be, or phone calls should be under $100. And, booked appointments should be under about $120 to make it work. If we're doing really well, it'll be under $70, like through local service ads. But I don't care if they're in Iowa City or Missouri or Los Angeles. You have a broken air conditioner, you have a broken air conditioner. So I look at the keywords as the very first thing to see. Once I know what they do, goals, content, and targeting, which is making sure I'm not making the #1 VA mistake. The #1 VA mistake is, which we've taught on very often, is, well, I'm a SEO expert, or I'm a video editor, or I'm a whatever. I don't need to understand anything about what the client does because I just edit videos on and on and on and on, right? Like a classic example, which, and the thing is, people make this VA mistake, even if I point blank them, they continue to make this mistake. So let me show you an example. This is Dan Euland. I love him to death. He's amazing. And there's a VA that is posting under his name. Actually, we'll go to Elite Student Coach. His company's Elite Student Coach. He has it under his name and under his company brand. So if I look at, where is let me get to the posts here. Yeah, here we go. So here, this was posted yesterday. So the VA that's working on this, look at all the special effects. This glitching stuff, the B-roll, the back. There's like 2 or 3 special effects every second, right? This is someone who is a video editing expert, but they have no idea what Dan Euland does. They're just taking clips of Dan Euland talking about stuff and just adding random stuff of like students and coaching and pencils and what their idea of tutoring is. This is the #1 VA mistake. This looks beautiful, doesn't it? And we'll see the other stuff is kind of like that too. We go back further and we'll see, oh, there's the equations that are going on, and now it's B-roll, 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 B-roll. They spent all this time making this wonderful animation. I don't know why this person's walking, but okay, fine. What's the microphone on confidence? Okay, fine. They're like, this VA is generating all this kind of garbage because they didn't start with the first step of understanding what that business actually does. And if you look at my LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, email, whatever, I talk about this mistake on and on and on. There's all these people that hit me up. Hey, I'm an expert at WordPress, right? These people say, I'm an expert and, I want to work with you. This guy said it just now, a couple minutes ago. Hey, I saw your podcast. I'm an SEO expert. All these people say they're an expert at, and so if you're an expert at Facebook ads, let's say you know a lot about Facebook ads, but you don't understand this plumbing HVAC company, doesn't matter. It always starts with the business goal. I help X achieve Y via Z. So here, do I understand heating, air conditioning, and fireplaces? Okay. I need to understand that. And then if I know about SEO, I know about ads, I know about Google, this and that, and email and banners, then I can help them. But if I come into this thinking, I'm a Facebook ads expert. Well, if you have a hammer, everything's a nail. Then I'm going to think, well, what these guys, Brandt, HVAC, they need Facebook ads. They may or may not need Facebook ads. Me as a doctor, let's just say if I pretend to be a doctor and I know how to do, and I know how to remove people's appendices, then anyone who comes to the hospital, I assume they need appendicitis. That may or may not be what they need. Okay. So step one is make sure you know what these people do, like you actually understand what they do. Then number two is I look at what their keywords are. Keywords, let's see. Heat pump installation. They have some names, brand, named, brand terms, their name, right? Osage or Osage Beach. I imagine that's some city that they're in. HVAC Jefferson City. So these are all super low competition, which is always the case in local. And they're not anywhere in striking distance. And most of them they've lost, you can see. So when I see more red than green, that means they're going backwards. And you'll see the toolbar says they rank on 112 or something, 107 keywords. And here it says 172. That's because the toolbar is not using up-to-date data. So this is the real truth, the 172. And because they don't, now you might think, well, 172, is that good or bad? That's actually bad for local. We typically want to see a couple thousand, but not just any random couple thousand. We want to see their keywords and near me and or city terms. So everyone in local, which is why local is such a great category, is geo-modified combos. So it could be Chicago landscaping. It could be, San Diego personal injury attorney. It could be whatever combination of what they do in the city they do it in. That's why I love local so much. And they're all low competition, pretty much by definition, not a lot of volume. And they're getting no traffic, all zeros, because they're not ranking on whatever their main city is. What is their main city? They don't even have the location service pages. They have service pages, air duct cleaning city name, but it's not clear the city. Well, so how do we tell? Well, let's see. There's nothing here that gives away the location except maybe the phone number. I bet you this is probably stock art. Let's see. Is it? Did it come from the manufacturer? Probably. Do you guys know why you never want to use stock art? It sends a signal to Google that you're not legit. Look, all these other places are using the same one. Superior Air, Power Home, Full Bros. When you see the same stock art in all these other places, it probably means it was designed by the same web designer who used the same template. So then if we wanted to, you could contact all these other sites saying, hey, did you know that these 20 other heating, air conditioning folks are using Jacobs Heating, Got Clean Air? Just look at any of them, right? Let's see if it shows who built the website. And there's a couple other ways to find out who it is too, because we can go to the Facebook Ads Manager and see who's using the same. Anyway, it's not because we're like trying to do competitive poaching. It's just very easy and there's nothing wrong with using a template, right? But let's see, we're still in clean air. All right, well, let's go back to the actual one here. You know what? I'm pretty sure it's based on a template. Yeah. Select on selection site. Site design and code or property of select on site. The last thing you want to do when you suck is to advertise that you're the one building the site. And this is called a parasitic link. It's on every site. Let's see, I bet you these guys have a decent domain rating. They do, 74. Watch this. I've never been to the site before. I bet you they have a high domain rating and they rank on very few keywords. And I'll tell you why if that's the case. I'm just guessing here. Yeah, see? DR 74, but only ranking on a couple hundred keywords. Why is that? Because when we look at these 79,000 links, they're parasitic links. Because it'll say site built by, site built by, site built by. See? Told you. Never even been to the site before. I can already tell you. Why? Because there's clear patterns of what to do and what not to do. But the thing with mistakes is people make the same mistakes over and over and over again. So this select on site, I have no idea who they are. I didn't even try to out them. They outed themselves by putting their link in there, by thinking erroneously that if they do this, it passes juice to them. It used to, Google used to take this as a signal. Now they don't. So here, you know, they're linking to themselves and all these other sites. And these are probably these ones we were just looking at. Remember? We were just looking at all these guys that are using the same stock art. I bet you they're in this group. So they're stealing juice. Google has said that parasitic links don't work anymore. Okay. So let's see. They list their services. The services don't do anything. Duct cleaning, let's just say. Okay, that's a common thing HVAC companies do. Brandt HVAC services air duct cleaning. This page doesn't rank on anything. See? They rank on these 6 keywords, which carry no traffic. Why? Because this location service page, duct cleaning. ChatGPT can do a better job than this. This doesn't show any of their EEAT. Experience, expertise, authority, trust, there's none of it. None of it. That's it. How do they expect this to link? No one's linking to it either. Look, zeros, 0 referring pages. Easy to fix. So literally going through the site and seeing whether it loads fast, which we find that it doesn't, because we can just go to here, take their site, take the top level, not the page, and we go to page speed insights. Put this in, get the speed for desktop and mobile. I mean, it doesn't matter if they fail Core Web Vitals or these other pieces. I care more about this number. How much should it be? 90 plus. Oh, but these other tools give a better rating or more accurate than Google's own tools. Oh, we can debate about what these other tools will say. But basically, from does your site load and is there a good user experience? You want this number to be 90 plus, and mobile is by far the most important one. They have a 33. Web developers will want to argue, but how do you argue these different pieces? Their JavaScript is crushing them because they have a lot of synchronous JavaScript. And some of these elements, these images are too big. They take too long, right? They're not serving the images the right way, which is costing them, right? And Google's telling us exactly what's wrong. There's a 33 on mobile. It's probably like, I don't know, 75 on desktop. Oh, 87. Okay, fine. Same kinds of things. And if we use our Chrome developer tools, go to View, Developer Tools. Now we can reload the timeline and we can see that 120 GET requests. You see this? 10.3 megabytes, 120 GET requests. A bunch of these things that don't even work that show up in red. You see that 401 error, 404 errors and whatnot. And 5.5 seconds for 15 megabytes. Way too big of a payload, right? How do you even argue this? You can't, but they'll still argue. It's like a 400-pound fat woman, 5'2". She's on the scale. You're obese, okay? Stop trying to argue. Clearly you're obese. This site is broken. There's no location pages. So I look at all the areas within. So I've done this thousands of times. This is not the first time I've done this. I'm walking you through same process we go through all the time. Plus, every page here has to have an author. Google wants to know authorship. Who wrote this? Should be Brittany. By Brittany. Just like in a magazine or any kind of website, here's an article. It should be by Brittany, by Leanna Lang, by Taylor, by whatever it is, because you stand behind it. There's no EEAT. I need to see their actual expertise of them doing it, not this dude that's on all the other websites, right? As you saw. This, if I was a spammer, I could generate 1,000 of these websites, just like this. And it had no, actually, it would do better than her site because my site would load faster. And I wouldn't have these other sorts of issues, even if I've never done one AC job ever. Maybe they have a link to their GMB. I bet you the only thing that's working for them, oh, they're not even linking to their GMB, are they? They're linking to St. Louis. Great. That'll help them a lot. Link to St. Louis instead of their GMB. Let's see what's going on their Facebook. Probably nothing. Usually there's nothing. Usually there's someone who's posting dutifully. See, I've seen this enough times. They're posting dutifully because you're supposed to, but nothing's happening. No likes, comments, or shares, or maybe it's robots that are doing it, but there's nothing going on here. Oh, yeah, I can tell there's robo content here. Yeah, see, when there's tons of shares and there's no likes or comments, that you know that's suspicious. We are hiring. Okay. There's no point in posting on social media here. There's none. Because it's not generating. It's, when you look at the 4 stages of the content factory where, you can post on social, you can post on YouTube, on the website or whatever. If there's no visibility, if it's not getting me phone calls, if no one's seeing it, if I'm not running ads, $1 a day in St. Louis, it doesn't matter. So there, you see, when we diagnose with the 4 stages of the content factory, they're not even here in stage 1. They haven't taken, I know they've got pictures and videos and whatnot of technicians that are doing fireplaces and repairing air conditioning units and all this, but it's not being processed to live on the website and social, and this, I'm not running ads against it. What the website company will do, as you saw, is they'll take their template, which is the same picture of this smiling dude, right? And just duplicate the website, duplicate all these other things. That's what they're doing. Why dealers choose them? Because they have 17 years of experience in websites and SEO and all that. Do they? No. The data is very easy to tell. They don't even have a Facebook pixel. They're not even doing Google remarketing. Come on now. Where's your digital plumbing, right? Let's see. I bet you there's no social sharing except their own. Using the CrowdTangle plugin. I'm using a lot of tools here. You're going to find the shares are going to be their own site. Why? Because their social posts, largely Facebook, keep linking back to their own site, hoping that that's somehow going to work. Facebook's going to penalize you if you just keep linking out because they want people to stay on the platform, obviously, right? Okay. So this site is just like all the other local service businesses. What is this? Ashland, California, Fulton, Jefferson City, Lynn, that's Oregon. What? They're in one plate. Oh, there's another Lynn. Okay, fine. California. Is there a place called California? Oh, there's a California, Missouri. Well, what do you know? All right. By the way, the footer links don't work. When you add tons and tons of these, as you saw here, these footer links, it's okay to do it, but it doesn't work. Notice, footer link, and then tons and tons of these spam links, right? We offer the following California, Missouri air conditioning replacement. Okay. Here they link back to upgrade replacement. And then there's no content here. This is all just a stock art over and over and over again. Do you think Google can see through that? Promise you they do. Right? Where else is this image being used lazily by whoever that website building company is? Yep. Over and over and over again. Right? Over and over that same image. No trust. You might as well just advertise to Google. Yep, we have no trust. We're just replicating the same thing over and over again. I bet you they're paying like a couple $1,000s a month for this thing where someone charged them this, and then this is the property of Select on Site. Yeah, it is. The stock art is the property because it's used across all these other sites. You try to leave these guys, they'll say, nope, it's our property. Oh, geez. Well, that's what you got. Oh boy. Here, I'm going to invite some other people onto our meeting here, just so we can do the same thing. 1 second here, because I got a few of these other ones to go through. I'll be right back. I'm going to invite some other friends. 1 second. All right, I'm back. There's this other fitness company that should join us. We'll cover the same thing here. Hey, let me share my screen. And you can see my face too. Okay. By the way, I hope you find this helpful. It's the same thing every single time. I've been doing this for longer than some people have been alive. It's the same process, right? Goals, content, and targeting, which clearly reflects that they do the thing that they say they do. Is that showing up here on the web? No, it's not, because all these other things, you see how often, look, they don't even, oh, that's a favicon. They have, let's just look at any one of these. Ashland, it's probably a suburb of St. Louis. Here's all these things they do. Repair service, boiler sales, heat pump, furnace. These are all things that people are searching. They're searching for St. Louis furnace repair, right? And then I go to this furnace repair site. There's this. There's a stock art. Let's see. Search image with Google. Where else is this stock art being used? Well, let's see. Lots of places, right? HVAC Southfield. Who are they? Oh, look. All these places are using the same picture of the same dude, okay? All day long. And I bet you they're all from whoever that select site, whoever these people are, select on site. Yeah, don't do that, right? I'm not saying you need a custom site. I'm just saying put in your actual experience. If you're Isaac from Brisker Solutions, show pictures you've taken on your iPhone of land and your stories, and it doesn't even have to be just of you, showing that it's you, not this dude, right? Who knows who this dude is? I bet you this is like some model that's been used from like whatever place. There's nothing here that shows that you do the thing that you do. Like, is it not so blatantly obvious? Leanna, is this not like super obvious that they're not giving Brittany and her husband? I'm sure they're good at heating and air conditioning and they've got lots of great reviews and all that, but is it not super obvious they are not clearly showing the thing that they say they do?
Yep.
This
yep,
is not
it
even the
is.
one. This is not even them. This is the other one, the Iowa City one that beats them out. This is the other one that beats them out. This is the other one that beats them out. This is their actual site. So what does it mean when they have a DR 0.2? They don't even have a DR 1. These guys are weak as heck at a DR 9. These guys are not even at DR 1. What does that mean with 26 referring pages? How do we look at this, Leanna? Why is this so important?
Yeah. I mean, like, does this happen because either the person who sold this to them just says, oh, it's like so hard and you have to put more money in. And so they just think that's the way it is, or they're just completely oblivious because they were sold that, oh, this is how, this SEO package, and that it takes like 5 years to work, for example.
Yeah. So Leanna, when you look at this, and I know you're more of lead gen on Facebook, but
Yeah.
we instantly see that they have no trust because the only
Yep.
links that they have are just some basic directory links, which happen automatically. This should be thousands of legitimate links from that are from people that do HVAC, so other competitors or friends of theirs in other cities, and other things that are in the St. Louis area, or things that they've done in St. Louis, or where they win an award, or they speak at a conference, or
Yeah.
like whatever. There's no links. They don't have any links coming in. Therefore, there's no trust, no links to pass juice, right? And they used to rank on more keywords, but they've lost a lot and they've gone nowhere. So I bet you they've been paying, who knows, $1,000 a month or whatever to rent this website because it's the property of these other people who say it's proprietary. And meanwhile, they're getting crushed. And that's why they've
So
reached out.
what would you
Remember,
say to
they reach out to
companies?
us, right?
Yeah. What would
Yeah,
you say to
right.
companies like, you're showing all this technical stuff because we know that matters in terms of how you show up in the search engines. But what do you say to them in terms of like how the public perceives them? Obviously, the public doesn't know that you have this many links, etc. But at the end of the day, it's about how you show up for your potential clients, right?
I would tell
Like,
the
how
story
does
this way.
Mhm.
So you, as this heating, air conditioning, fireplace company, there's no proof on the site that you actually do this? There's none. There's no, like, these pictures aren't real. There's nothing that says like, yeah, we've been in St. Louis for the last 17 years. And me and my husband, we started this business because my dad, ran an HVAC company. I don't know, like, just there's some kind of story, something that shows that I satisfy Google EEAT.
Mhm.
Guess what? Google published this. Their quality rater guidelines gets an extra E. It used to be E, now it's EEAT. Why is it EEAT? Because they want to know that you actually demonstrate that you have done this thing that you say that you do firsthand, and you're putting it on the site. This is not a technical explanation. Do you do air conditioners? Do you repair furnaces? Do you fix, broken water heaters? Like, do you have proof that you do it? And do you have proof that you're in the city that you say you do it in? No, you don't. Because everything here is just a bunch of repetitive garbage, right? Clearly, any of us, not just for local service businesses, clearly, are you doing the thing that you say you do? No, you're not. And if you do the thing you say you do, then other people that also do that thing too, you're going to be at a conference with them. You're going to be sharing your expertise in a magazine. You're going to be in a Facebook group with other people that are technicians. You're going to be hiring and training other people. And you're going to be, there's all this evidence that will happen when you have that, right? And none of it's showing up. Now, if it was showing up, and here's all the things related to cooling, let's say. Here's an air conditioner and a heat pump. And I don't know what a heat pump is, but let's just say here, I'm looking at heat pumps and my heat pump is broken. Now this looks like e-commerce. If you want an Infinity 24 heat pump. Do you know, Leanna, the difference between an Infinity 24 heat pump and an Infinity Series 18 VS heat pump?
No.
I mean, maybe Isaac Hall does, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But maybe that's the one, maybe at my house, this is the one I have, right? I go out and I look in the back and I see like, oh, it says Infinity Series 18 VS heat pump. Okay, it's broken. All right. So if these guys fix heat pumps, and let's say that's the one I have, okay? I go in the back of my house and I see this is one I have, and I click on View More. Manufacturer stated benefits. Filter dryer system protection from moisture and contaminants and blah, blah, blah. Is this what I want to see? Does this satisfy Google's helpful content criteria? Let's say, Leanna, or you don't know what helpful content is. You've never read Google's 170-page quality rater guidelines. But if you were to guess, Leanna, is this helpful content? My heat pump is broken. I need it repaired. I click on View More, and it tells me the manufacturer's stated benefits. Is that helpful for me in this situation?
No, because it's not talking to humans. That's my standard, which I think everybody should look, right? Think about, like, is this helpful for a human?
Well,
Not really.
energy bill concerns. We offer a number of ways to reduce your energy bills. With this stock art dude holding this thing here, let's search this thing. It's clearly been, every one of these things is fake. Yeah, I don't need to prove to you that this is fake, do I? That all the other air conditioning companies are using the same image here, yes? Same one, right? Like, not even a question, right? Nothing here about this thing is real. Should this site deserve to rank in Google? Like, the whole idea is, are you Googleable? Are you Googleable.com? Does your site deserve to rank? Well, is there real experience? Is it a good, site experience for the user? No, it's not. It looks like it was built in 2016. I mean, if I come in here, especially if I build websites for a living, shame on you. If I come in here and you see that the way this banner, you can tell like some VA just slapped it in. No problem with using VAs. But if I look at this is terrible. And then you have a CAPTCHA here. I get why people put CAPTCHAs here, because they're afraid of spammers. Guess what a CAPTCHA also does? It prevents real leads from, it also basically adds an element of distrust. Okay, so the fact that if you remove the CAPTCHA, fine, you'll get an extra couple robo leads submissions per day. But is it worth going through an extra few robo submissions for a real lead that costs $100 to get? I think so. Don't use CAPTCHAs unless you're a big CPG company. The site has no traffic anyway. What would you put CAPTCHAs on it? It's not like they got a ton of spam. It's not like they're getting, 50 new leads per day. They're not. They're getting nothing. And we look at on other devices, we're going to see hamburger menu, services, the service, all these location service pages, they don't load properly on mobile. Okay. Look, you can already tell. Look at the amount of JavaScript they have. Nothing wrong with JavaScript, but man, they got too much of it, right? All sorts of things. New installation. Okay. Is there anything helpful here?
No.
I could literally take this content and I could go to ChatGPT and say, watch this. That was the last time I'll do it too many times. I'll do it just once. Okay. This is the web page for an HVAC company in St. Louis. I don't need to do a full prompt because it's so easy. It's for new installation. Please critique it for EEAT and PAA specifically. Okay. It knows what EEAT and PAA are. In other words, it doesn't have expertise or experience, authority, and trust, and it doesn't have PAA. People also ask, right? So doesn't have any. It says it doesn't have any of these things. You don't even have to read the thing. So if I literally say new, what was it? New furnace
Installation.
St. Louis, Missouri. Okay. If I do a search on this, you want to find out if you're Googleable? Literally Google the thing yourself, right? That's how you find out. People are asking, how much does it cost? Why are the costs so high? How many hours it takes to install a furnace? So these are the questions people are asking. And as you start to click through the PAA, it starts to show all these sorts of things, right? Which furnace brand is the best? So I don't know. These ones. How long does it take to install and remove one? Okay. How do we prepare? Should I replace it? What's the best time of year to buy a furnace? So, all right. Now, if we know that someone's searching for new furnace installation, city name, there's all these PAAs. And guess who's answering the PAAs? These other guys, right? If you answer the PAAs and you make 1-minute videos, selfie, cell phone, whatever, film the technician in front of a furnace ideally, but it could be wherever. It could be in front of the supermarket. The supermarket, you have an extra minute in line, answer the questions on your cell phone. Then people who come in and do this search on new furnace, whatever, they don't have the PAA. See, they don't answer the PAA. See, now ChatGPT is polite. Overall, the web page is a good foundation, but could be significantly improved. Yeah, you don't have anything. You don't answer the PAA. You don't have any EEAT. Do you have any EEAT? No, you don't. You clearly do not. So
would you
Taylor,
also recommend, as you go through the content factory, to also be embedding those videos on the page along with the content?
Yeah. Yeah, you should. Because you want to show, Judge Google says that you were guilty until proven innocent. So I want to see that they are doing the thing they say they do. They don't. Installation. I'd say, Brittany, you and your husband or these other technicians, talk about like how you do your installation and what's going on with this free in-home consultation. Show a picture or video of you doing that. Talk about this. Help select an energy efficient. Okay, yeah. Okay, well, one of the things you got to consider is like, how big is your house? Or, how cold does it get? Or, what is your house made of? And, I don't know, whatever the kinds of things that an HVAC specialist would need to know, right? Full factory warranties. Okay, well, what does that mean? Does that mean 20 years? Is it forever? Is this Carrier brand better than the other brand? A convenient way to pay through special financing with approved credit. Yeah, well, people are asking, how much does it cost? You didn't answer the question. So therefore, if you don't answer the PAA, do you meet Google's helpful content criteria? No, you don't. So Taylor, do you need to be an SEO expert to see why this site is not Googleable and why it doesn't meet Google's basic criteria?
Absolutely not. It's just all pretty much stock clip art. And from a consumer standpoint, they don't understand any of the information given to them.
So let's say, Taylor, you have a broken air conditioning unit. It's hot. In the summer, it's 100 degrees and, your air conditioner is broken. And you're coming to this site. What would you want to see versus what's here?
It's funny, as soon as you said that, and it's hot, and this has happened to me last year, I'm looking for 24-hour repair. And I
Okay.
haven't seen that yet.
No. It should be like, emergency.
Yeah, emergency. I need somebody to come out because I'm hot. My wife's hot.
Yeah. And it should say like, we'll come out with it. We typically come out within an hour
Yeah.
or 2
Or
hours. We come out
response
right
times
away.
or something.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Brittany, and this is our business. And when you call, one of our guys will come out right away. Like a video. Imagine it's a video. I'm Brittany. You're here because it's really hot and you need your air conditioner. Your air conditioner is not working. I will send someone out right now. Call this number. Imagine if your webpage was literally just a video of me saying, you're here because your air conditioner is broken and you want someone to come out right now and fix it. Call this number right now. If you need to know more, I've done this for 17 years. We have a great reputation. Go read our Google reviews. Look at the equipment that we use. If you're worried about what it costs and whatever, we'll talk about all sorts of different sorts of options. But typically, it's going to be between $10,000 and $12,000. And here's all this other information if you need. But if you want us just to come out now, this is the number to call. We are a family-run business. I make sure that we do good work. But look at our reviews and you'll see that we take care of our customers. Imagine if that was if that was it. You click on the thing and you got just that video of me, not all this other stuff. You see all this stuff where they have like hundreds of these pages of all this nonsense, right? Hey, Isaac, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So Isaac, let's say you're in Logan, Utah, and it's really hot and your air conditioner broke. What would be more compelling? A video that took me 1 minute to make where I explain like, hey, I'm going to come out right now with one of my guys, right? Doesn't matter. You call in the middle of the night, I'll send a guy out now. Where you always take care of our customers. That simple video, which you can make on your iPhone in 1 minute, or this whole thing that says, here's what happens in a performance furnace tune-up. Adjust the blower components, test and adjust safety controls, tighten electrical connections, check. What do you think?
Oh, it's not even a competition, I think. The video is so much better, simpler. This is complete information overload. Like if you don't know the jargon, that's just crazy to try and read. But it's like when you're writing an essay, you don't want to just tell your reader or your audience what the essay is going to be about. Like you want to show them.
Yeah.
You need that evidence.
Yeah. Now you did work for a plumbing company before. So if anything, the problem.
What was that?
So you worked for a plumbing company before.
Uh-huh. I don't know much of this jargon, so to me this is
You don't need to.
yeah.
You even know, I don't know. Do you know what a condenser coil or an evaporator coil is?
Nope.
I have no idea what that is, but I assume that guy does, right? I'm assuming it's a guy, but I assume they know what it is, right?
Yeah.
And they can tell if it's broken or not, right?
Yeah.
So how would you summarize when we do these SEO or are you Googleable audits? How would you summarize what we're doing here?
From what I gather, it's more of just evidence that you are human and building trust.
Yeah. And you do the thing that you say that you do, and you show
Yeah.
lots of evidence of that, videos, pictures, testimonials, stories. So all of us here, not just these guys we're doing the audit on, not just, Leanna or Taylor or Isaac, this first box, this purple box is proof that you do the thing. So you can establish proof of expertise by having your technician say like, this is what a condenser coil is. And here's like what a rusted out one looks like. And here's like what a new one looks like. And this is how we evaluate. And you could have that somewhere on the webpage. Not that any consumer would really care, but it's there just to show that you have the expertise. But the majority of the content you'll have that satisfies Google EEAT, which is the items we're putting in this first box, are things that your community has to say. Maybe you have Roger Wakefield on your podcast. Maybe you meet people at there's some big show going on right now where all the plumbing HVAC people are together. I forgot what it's called, but there's a big conference they go to, and they're all hanging out and looking at the latest equipment and talking about whatever they're talking about, right? How to, vinyl wrap their trucks, and how to train technicians, and how to, all the stuff they're talking about as they're talking shop. And that's all stuff that would be here in this purple box. The majority of the content, if you're doing it right, is not you talking about your business. I mean, if you're Isaac and you're a one-man show, then it's going to be you mainly. But the real proof that Google's looking for is that you have lots of happy customers that talk about you. So Leanna Ling has ad skills. She's got a big community, and these people are doing the talking for her because they have been able to generate leads using Facebook ads. And there's a ton of proof of that. If you are good at the thing that you say you do, it should generate so much massive proof that if you collect it, if you maybe throw more fuel on the fire by, interviewing these people and whatnot, and just putting it into this shared folder, then the other stage of the content factory can work for you. Then your website will work for you. So if I were, like David, are you here? Because David's been worrying about his personal brand website, company website.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
David, let's just as a test of comprehension, if we're looking at, where is it? All right, this guy's website, okay? They're here. Do you think that the issue is whether they're on WordPress or Wix or whatever kind of CMS?
No,
They
no.
switched to a better CMS that would do you think maybe if they updated their HVAC business schema that would maybe improve their site?
Not at all. Not at all.
Well,
So
what if they upgraded their GeoIP database, right? What if they did better GeoIP?
I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you think maybe if they added more WordPress plugins, because there's so many cool, in fact, there's all these cool AI tools. Do you think if they started using all these really cool AI tools that they would provide, they would start ranking better in Google?
Not from what I've learned recently, no.
Really? Yeah, but there's all these really cool AI tools that do all kinds of like Elon Musk kinds of things.
You still have to humanize it, right? You still have to humanize it. That's what you're trying to teach us right now is humanize everything.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes. Is it not that obvious? Then why is it, David?
So
all these
let me ask you
do all
this.
this random stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
So on this, since he has all these terms that no one knows about, if you're not in the HVAC industry, I mean, should he just do a video on each one of the terms and put it on here instead of having this definition, or make it clickable so it can go into a video and say, hey, this is what a condensing coil is? Will that help?
It would help a little bit, but why is that not the most important thing?
Because there's nothing that's relatable to Brittany and all their years of business, and there's no proof that they're killing it. It's just a basic site. Like anyone can make a site like this, lead generation site.
Because there's nothing real in this site. So David, we've not right-clicked on this thing, but this dude who's looking at this air conditioning unit and has this blue box, if I right-click on it, how likely is it that there's 100 other websites that use that same thing?
Oh, very likely, because I just discovered Google Lens and it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably been used at another 1,000 HVAC websites all around the world.
Yeah. And in fact, what I could do is I could copy paste this, right? And I'll literally type that in as the search, and I'm going to see all these other websites that have the exact same thing. The exact same.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, I gotcha. Good. Didn't I get you? See? They're all doing the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Now, why do you think that is? Well, let's go find out. Remember, I've never looked at this website before. I've never been. Oh, look, it's even got the same. Look, it's the same. It's the exact same. Oh, it looks exact same. They put the cities in the bottom. Oh, look who built the site. So David, I know that you're not an expert, web SEO, whatever person, but what do you think is going on here?
So now I'm kicking myself for the website that I just switched over to.
Oh.
But they're taking the same thing and they're just repositioning everything based on the templates
Yeah, but
and
they're
selling the
experts.
same stuff over and over again.
These guys are experts and they've been doing it for forever. And they have 17 years of experience building websites for HVAC companies. And their SEO is really good. They said so. See, they said they're really good. Look at all this. I mean, definitely. Look, they offer these websites and it's local SEO. They offer advanced SEO. Holy crap. They don't offer just basic SEO. They offer advanced SEO. I don't even know what advanced SEO is. What do you think that is? Sales
A money
tool.
grab.
This. Oh, let's look. Advanced SEO. All right. Let's have some fun. Advanced SEO gets the phone ringing, does it? How is it different than other marketing? Oh, speed rankings. Most companies hide behind the belief that SEO takes time. Our SEO process does it within the first 30 days. Dominance on the city pages. Okay. The location service pages. Oh. SEO. Yes, SEO is about backlinks. Oh, let's go look at their site and see what backlinks there are. These are the backlinks on a DR.2 website. If the DR is less than 20, I already know that the linking pages don't carry any weight. Let's look at them anyway. So let's go look at the backlinks. Dex knows that's a directory listing. No follow, no follow, no follow. Huh. Yellowpages.com, directory listing. I can get that for $10, paying it once. No follow. Yellow Pages, Dex, no follow, no follow, no follow, no follow, no follow. Super Pages, which is Verizon, no follow, no follow, no follow, no follow. Why? Oh, they're all no follows and they're all directories. Tell me, how does this? I know none of you guys are SEO experts or whatever, but I agree. SEO is all about backlinks. So what's up with the SEO here? What would you say, Mr. Parker? You've done some audits now. What do you think about it? What about the power of this advanced SEO? Is there some advanced SEO happening here?
No, it's like they're violating learn, do, teach, but also like their entire business is like that.
The entire thing's
And
like
it's
that.
like what I
There's
don't
no power at all.
understand.
There's no backlink power at all. Clearly, DR.2. They should be a DR.20 plus. They should have hundreds of real links. They have no links. The only links they have, if I spent $10 in the next week, I could get better links because I would just list them on a couple directories. I would have, what the right answer here is that the correct way to do this is getting local citations, which costs us about $100 to have a VA go through this. And it's probably like 15 or 20 hours of work. Call that $5 an hour, right? To manually create real directory listings, not paying for Yext. You could pay for Whitespark. It'll be $1,500 for an American to do it. Maybe they outsource it to someone else. Darren's a good friend of mine. So that's local citations. That's the correct way to do local citations, which is not being done here. Clearly, there are none. There's just two, right? And then I would start building relationships with other plumbing HVAC companies. And I would guest blog post. Why? Because anyone else that actually is legitimate in the space, anyone who actually does a great job in plumbing HVAC, and they'll talk about, Shop Talk, they'll talk like, hey, here's the latest thing on how to repair a furnace. And like they share, that's where, David, to your question, should they have the questions answering the broken whatever valve? Yes, they should, but they should talk about that with other people that actually care about those details. And that's the kind of content that would happen when you get together with other people in the industry, right? You would share that on the industry sites, right? And then you would link from the industry sites to you because it would say, thank you, John Schmo HVAC, for sharing on how to fix this condenser coil. And here's like a new technique on how to fix a condenser coil. You know what I'm saying? Like that would actually be helpful to other HVAC technicians, right?
That's a super quick question.
Yeah.
That relates to the company that built out all this.
Uh-huh.
I mean, how in your opinion is it possible they could have built hundreds of these sites using the same images?
Why don't you take a random guess? You came from this space before. Who are these people?
They're just selling with no fulfillment.
They're sales bros. that are out there selling, and they never really think about delivering anything because they know more than Brittany. Brittany runs this is her company. She does, has these technicians that go out and do all this stuff. Does Roger Wakefield, who's a plumber, understand all this SEO jargon? Roger Wakefield said that he paid $47,000 to 3 marketing companies that made his phone not ring.
I don't feel.
I know the feeling.
But this,
He talks about this, right?
Secrets. There are
It's-
things that
using WordPress, but
Here we do 2.5 hours of
Because-
this.
when they sell SEO, what you hear is, oh, you're going to help me rank #1 on all these plumbing related keywords of people that live within 5 miles of Richardson. But if we break down what is SEO exactly, so if you're paying a marketing company to do SEO, based on what you know, what are they actually doing?
You know, man, I thought prior to looking behind the scenes at my wife, I feel like I'm hanging out with the Wizard of Oz. Because he's like, look, let me show you what's really going on back here. And from me, what I thought is what I've asked them to do is look, if somebody searches plumbing in Richardson, Texas, plumbing in Plano, plumbing in Allen, plumbing in Carrollton, I want to be found.
Yeah.
And then if they search water heater flushing in those same cities, I want to be found. And I've had one other website person tell me, look, you need a page, and guys, I want y'all to hear this, a page.
So we're going on and on. Now he's the #1 plumber. He's got 600,000 subscribers of all these other plumbers because he's the industry leader, which is what we call a lighthouse, right? So to Parker's question, if the industry leader got deceived, how likely is it some Joe Schmo is going to get deceived? In any industry, any local industry, it is the most pernicious scam I have seen in internet marketing. More than crypto, more than you name it, more than weight loss. It is the biggest scam I have ever seen because it's so rampant and because the people that are perpetrating it, they think that they're actually helping. If you call up that dude who's made hundreds of these websites, do you think he thinks that he's scamming people? No, he's not, because here, I'll show you. This is something you've never seen before, but you're gonna enjoy this one. Watch this. I'm gonna find this one thing that happened today. You've never seen this before. Okay, let me share my screen here. All right. I'm gonna try to not get mad, okay? So look, this guy, 15 hours ago, he applied to one of our job posts. And we're hiring lots of people to do lots of things, as you can imagine, the Content Factory, building websites the right way, all this. So he says, hey, I'm Richmond from the Philippines, and I build websites for pressure washing companies and remodeling and whatnot. And I've been wanting to get in plumbing. Okay, great. So I'm like, all right, what's up? Show me that you've done this. And he says, all right, here's these websites that I've done it for. And I built it at this, whoever 180 Sites is, okay? 180 Sites is just like that other one, okay? They're all like this, all right?
I think I know where this is going. Keep going.
14 hours ago. And he said, look, you can visit all these websites that I built, which I'm proud to show, even though it's under the name of my previous employer. And I said, absolutely. Show me the invoice. Yeah, he says, I'll show you my invoices even. I'm like, yeah, great. Let's see your invoices. Let's see the SOPs. Let's see what you built. And he says, here's these screenshots, okay? Here's his checklist on, and so look at what's going on in the checklist. The checklist is this mindless, just, did you put the header in? Did you build this? Did you do that? Did you yes, I did. Did you make sure the alt text is there? Yes, I did. Does anything here satisfy Google EEAT? No, it doesn't. The process is broken. Now, do you think this guy who built the website is a scammer and is trying to rip off all these HVAC companies? No, he's a Filipino VA trying to take care of his family. I mean, he's not some bad guy. And here's their project management little system that they have. In this case, they're using Trello. I don't care what system you're using. Trello, Basecamp, Asana, Slack, whatever. They're all the same, okay? And you can see that these websites are going through this whole process. And then he has an invoice. And it shows that in the last week or 2 weeks, whatever, he's billing 54 hours at $9 an hour. So he billed $500. Oh, shoot. Freaking, I reload this thing. See what's going on here? Okay. So here's what's going on, right? And I said, so, okay, well, why are you leaving this? Well, because I need to make more money and they didn't treat me very well. Okay. And then Rakeem asked these questions, which are great questions. He wants to see these SOPs. And the guy's like, yep, here's all the detail. And here's more on how we do all of it, right? So if you look at what's going on here and you look at his time card, this is just so insidious. When you look at what he's got here on how many hours it's taking, like they charge for meals. Okay, fine. He's taking about 3 hours, 4 hours to put together a website. You can see, right? Because he's billing 50 hours and he's getting, 10 websites out per whatever. So it's like, let's call it 5 hours. Let's round up. Let's round up and say it takes him 5 hours per website times $9 an hour. You do the math. How much money is this web company spending to build the website?
So 5 hours times, let's say $10 an hour, $9 an hour. So like, like
50
50 bucks.
50 bucks. Yep.
Hmm.
50 bucks. But then, you got to make a profit because here the web company would say, yeah, but if you go to Paris and you buy a croissant on the Champs-Élysées and they charge you $8 for the croissant and you say, yeah, but if you look at the cost of the actual flour and butter and sugar, it was the cost. It's actually like 15 cents for that croissant, right? How could you charge me $8 for a croissant when it's really only 15 cents for the ingredients? You're ripping me off. Well, that's obviously ridiculous. And so they'd say, yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I paid some guy $45 to build your website that I charge you $2,000 a month. How's that not a different? I mean, in any area you have markup in software, right? Google's charging you for ads. What's it actually cost them to serve the ads? Nothing. It's all profit for them because they already invested in the infrastructure, right? Okay, so I'm not questioning whether you can mark up your cost. What I'm questioning is whether there's value here. And what value are you adding? So when I go to that French bakery in Paris, I mean, I could buy a delicious croissant from Costco, but when I'm in that place and I've got a view of the Eiffel Tower from the Champs-Élysées, I'm paying, that place is having to provide service. They have to provide, they have to rent out that very expensive real estate where I can see the Eiffel Tower and all that. And so there's cost that they have to like clean the tables. They have to pay for all the stuff necessary to run the business. So, okay. Yes, you can mark that up. But the trouble is that the process is broken and the guy who's in charge of those other agencies in each of those, listen, they don't know how to do the work themselves. They're just outsourcing it. Every one of these guys does not know. If the website broke, if we were to sit them or me down in front of a terminal and like, got an hour, Dennis versus whoever that other guy is, who would build a better website? They wouldn't even know what to do. They've never built a website before. I have. I'm a mechanic. They're just a sales bro.
Easy.
They're like, you know what? You can hire people from the Philippines. I found out I could do all this stuff in the Philippines. So I'm going to hire this guy for $9 an hour and I'll hire like 2 or 3 of them. And now I'm cranking out 20 of them every week, right? Great. 20 websites every week times $2,000 a month times whatever. Now I'm making $1 million, $2 million every year, right? What a great business, right? Now I'm in sales bro mode. Now I'm going to book more appointments. Now I'm going to go exhibit at the different conferences. And you know, as far as I can tell, it's working. And then the thing is, they'll get the customers to say like, yeah, I use so-and-so for my website and my phone's ringing and all that. Yeah, you know why? It's because their GMB is doing all the work, not the website. It's their own reputation and the GMB. The website doesn't drive any traffic, provably. The website factually doesn't have any link juice. The website factually doesn't rank on anything important. And it doesn't because of non-technical things that anyone who's not a search engine engineer, I'm a search engine engineer, so I can tell you this. It's because it's not actually helpful. Every one of those websites is exactly the same. Hundreds of websites are exactly the same, except like they change the phone number or you know, everything else is the same. And that's super convenient for that business owner because you don't want to put any, you know, friction or effort on the business owner to have to make 1-minute videos or talk about what they do. No, they just go ahead and pay the SEO expert because it's advanced SEO. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's quickly.
Yeah. I'd be curious, like, Isaac, what do you think about this? You paid somebody to run Facebook ads for you, and you've been on the client side where, you know, you're the plumbing company and you pay for agencies to do their magic, right? Is this not an eye-opener? Can we not just tell everyone this is the truth? Is this not difficult, right? Was this some like difficult technical explanation of what's going on in the industry and how this lie is being perpetrated?
No, but it does make me want to switch professions. I'm kidding. It's actually insane how much money I've witnessed the different plumbing companies I worked at, how much they dumped into marketing, like
Yeah.
20 grand a month. Ridiculous.
What are you getting for the
Um,
20 grand?
What?
What are you getting for the 20 grand a month?
Classic SEO, or maybe it's advanced SEO like we saw. But then Facebook ads, just website management, Google LSA. That's pretty much it. Then just managing it.
So the things that work are their actual GMB, which has nothing to do with the marketing company, and the LSA, which is very easy to set up. If your GMB is good, then LSA is even better because LSA are ads made automatically from your GMB. And yes, you know, upload pictures and define your service area and your bids and things like that are part of configuring LSA. But LSA is so easy to set up. The ROI is so good that just GMB and LSA is enough to drive the results. But meanwhile, they make it look like, well, there's like these 15 things that we're doing, but really it's their GMB and LSA that are driving the calls. And outside of that, it's kind of a scam. I guess technically scam isn't the right word because scam is if you know that you're cheating them. These are pretend surgeons that are killing their patients, but they think they're actually helping their patients because they went to some agency, digital marketing, whatever, training school where learn how to start your digital agency, and all these other God-fearing Christian men who read the Bible and pray are also doing the same thing. And these seem like legitimate people. So I must be a legitimate person. You know, if I'm Josh Crouch of Relentless Digital, I think how dare you say that I'm scamming? I'm a honest, I go to church every Sunday. You know, I'm a good man. I'm not a scammer. A scammer is like some kid who lives in the basement and sells Viagra, or, you know, or they're in Nigeria and they're pretending that this dictator died and you got to wire money to the, that's a scammer. I'm not a scammer. I'm helping home service businesses. You're a scammer, bro.
These people have like dozens of team members. It's like no one stopped to be like, wait, what are we actually doing? Like, does no one ask this
The guy who's
question?
building the websites, we're probably going to hire him. Instead of his $9.25 an hour, maybe pay him like $11 an hour. But are we going to have him, if we hire him, are we going to have him do exactly what he was doing for this other company?
No.
No, because we're not going to replicate the garbage that's been happening. So do you think like this guy, what was his name? I forgot his name. Richmond. I mean, do you think Richmond is a scammer? He's just like some Filipino guy who builds websites, right? But did we provide Richmond the goals, content, and targeting, the necessary ingredients, the items in phase 1 of the 4-stage content factory? If he's not being equipped with those items, doesn't matter how good his JavaScript, HTML coding, WordPress, Elementor, whatever skills are, right? Doesn't matter. So I could be Taylor and I've got, you know, this historical reclaimed lumber and whatnot that's being used to create these amazing facilities versus like new pine growth, whatever. But if I don't start with the right ingredients, if I don't show where this old growth lumber is coming from, where it's being salvaged from some other building, if I don't show the quality of my ingredients, I have no way that I can charge a premium unless I'm just better at sales. Because I attended so-and-so's sales class on how to close better. There's no need to close better in the emergency room. Just don't kill your patients. They're coming to us. Don't leave your patients hanging after a couple months and they're still wondering what's going on and they demand a refund now. Take care of your patients. Don't sales bro it. That's not the answer. I'm going to sales bro it up. Drink 5 Red Bulls. No. Just don't kill your patients. It's that easy. It's not hard. It's the mindset. The problem's the mindset. Promise you.
So has this always been the norm in the digital marketing space?
It has, but it's gotten worse in the last 5 years because of social media and all these people that talk about how much money they're making because of the internet. What kinds of people do you think this attracts, Isaac or Parker?
Young
Who is
people? I
attracted?
don't know.
What?
Young people? I don't know what
Yeah.
to answer to that.
And then the young bros come in and they think it's all about closing. I'm closing. I'm having 5 calls per day and I'm closing left and right. And I'm going to have a Lamborghini by next month. Dude, your Lamborghini should have nothing to do with whether you can make the phone ring for people that are fixing broken water heaters, you know?
It's all biz off. Like a friend of mine's doing like 200,000, and I know his business model is just selling to 16-year-olds without credit cards. That's how
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
It's like, how is that sustainable?
Stop it. You've even fallen for that. You're enamored by these people, Parker.
Yeah.
You're really fascinated by these people because they appear really successful. And after all, if they're making all this money scamming these kids selling BizOp, which is you can be a successful business owner. I mean, Parker, if this guy is making 200 grand a month, I mean, that means he's legit, right? Let's say he actually is making 200 grand a month. He must be legit. You want to be like him, right, Parker?
No.
Well, why not?
I mean, I would like 200K a month, but
Yeah,
ethically, you
I
know.
could handle it.
I mean, look at
Handle
he's
the
popping
money.
bottles. He's in the club. Look at his sports car. Look at the new watch that he bought. Look at all these stories on Instagram. He's eating in all the nicest restaurants. You want to live like that, don't you?
Ethically.
I mean, look at me. I'm wearing a $9 shirt from Walmart. My watch is a Whoop band. The total sum of the clothing I'm wearing is maybe, okay, I have some fancy running shoes, maybe $300, right?
Yeah.
Not very impressive, is it?
No, but it's like when you are the guy, you don't need all this stuff. Like you can have a Lexus, it doesn't matter as long as you're known as the guy. And you get results, which is, I mean, the transition I've been trying to make the last month or two is just completely focusing on results and getting work done. Because like you said, it's like as long as that's getting done, I mean, all that shit will come. It's just like getting results.
Yeah. I'm a mechanic and I've got grease on my fingers, but that's because I'm working on the engines. If you see a mechanic or someone who pretends to be a mechanic and he's got a Rolex and 3-piece suit on, run. Claims that he's offering advanced mechanic. I'm not a regular mechanic. I offer advanced mechanic, right, Isaac? The advanced SEO.
Right.
The whole thing is fraudulent. Yeah, but how can it be fraudulent? Like these other plumbers or other agency owners will come to me. Yeah, how can it be? There's a whole industry. There's thousands of people doing it. Yeah, that's the scale of how fraudulent it is. It's unbelievable. Yeah, but these other people I know who they're good people. Yeah, it's fraudulent. Sorry. Our mission is to help turn the light on in this dark room. Digital marketing is not a secret. It's easily audible. It's the idea of, are you Googleable, right? That's all we're doing in these audits. Maybe we'll do one more so you can see. How about that?
I had one question about the
Yeah.
Google LSA. I run a lot of Google ads. What exactly is, I know back in the day that you used to have Google Places, and are you talking about in like the old Maps ads? Is that what LSA is?
No, local service ads from a consumer standpoint is called Google Verified or Google Guaranteed. So if you are a plumber, a real estate agent, landscaper, whatever, you're a dentist, you have a license to operate. And therefore, at the top of the search results, which some people call page 0, above the regular ads, above the maps, you'll see Google Guaranteed, Google Verified. And therefore, if you hire someone who is one of those and they mess up your roof or whatever, then you can go to Google and say, hey, they didn't fix my roof. You need to repair that or whatever. And then it's covered under that program. So it's only for licensed professions. I think there's 88 categories and it's constantly expanding in LSA. Health and, home services, legal.
Anybody that has to take a test.
Anybody that has to have some kind of license. And so
Right.
that's increasing significantly in medical.
Contractors.
And well, contractors have always been there, and now
Yeah.
into niches of contractors where there's a license. Like that
Okay.
now there's dietitians and there's chiropractors and there's dentists that have all come online in the last few months that used to not be in LSA category. But our whole thrust is helping people that are in LSA categories because multiple fold. One is LSA is the best place to run ads if you're in an LSA category. Number two, we know exactly what works when you are a plumber or HVAC technician. We know. We can use similar ads. We know what the results should be. There's no need to figure out the unique selling proposition. No need to come up with like a unique business model or how this company's so different. A broken pipe is a broken pipe, right? Now, if you're unique and you're not local, you're a startup, you built the SaaS company, you have this new idea, you have like some app, that's tough, right? But local, LSA is the easiest way to reliably be able to deliver result for that underlying client. That's why I like LSA. Because
I think you mentioned it before, but it's like all these like individual projects is like a Michelin star restaurant where everything's made from scratch, whereas we just want to be McDonald's, right? We just want to put all
not
the
McDonald's, we want to be the Tesla factory.
Right.
And every Model X that comes off the Tesla factory, yeah, it's a template. When you order a new Model X from Tesla, it's a template. And there's tens of thousands of other people that have the same thing. But if people say McDonald's, that implies that it's low quality, made by some mindless worker. And when you eat the McDonald's meal, it's unhealthy. So that's a negative connotation of a template or a repeatable process. I believe that a repeatable process can replicate something that's really good or replicate something that's really bad. It depends on what it's replicating. As you see with that, whatever that site select places we looked at that has hundreds of these sites that are all the same, they're replicating garbage. And this guy, Richmond, that you see that was replicating his sites, he's replicating garbage. Does it mean he's bad? No, the process is broken. Right? Okay. All right, let's cover one more and then we've been doing this a while now. Okay, so we have this guy who, there's Dan Miller. He died. There's all kinds of other stuff I can show you. Okay, here it is. Thermal Spray Depot. So what does Thermal Spray Depot do? Well, they sell equipment that allows people who are doing thermal spraying, which is spraying pipes or whatnot with metal, plastic, other kinds of coatings. There's equipment to do this. And so it occurs in a variety of industries. Remember, the first step, anytime you look at a company, is you got to understand their goals, content, and targeting. So I have to be able to be conversant with Bob McDermott, the thermal spray guy. And looking through this website, it's really not clear to me what this is. Plasma gun parts, spray bug, powder feeder, like what the heck is that? So, okay, this is a powder feeder. What the heck is that? The AT1200 is used with blah, 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 and here's some information about it. And then here's another one. Here's the PF2810. And maybe it's better than the other one. It's bigger, it holds more, it does whatever, right? That is not helpful to me. So how do I figure out what's going on? I go to ChatGPT and I said, what is a thermal spray and who uses it? Well, you put in metal alloy, whatever, and so it sprays this stuff onto in these different areas, in aerospace, automotive, even freaking, olive oil baskets or medical. It's all these different industry applications of when you need to spray metal or plastic onto pipes or whatnot to coat them. So it's all about coating these pipes or coating something, right? And so there's things that you're spraying, which means you have to heat it up, which is why it's thermal. So you're heating up the plastic, heating up the metal, and then you're spraying it on engines. You're spraying it on cars. You're spraying it on pipelines. You're spraying it, whatever, to coat these turbine blades to keep them from rusting, right? So, okay, cool. Now I have a basic idea that this company, in terms of the goals, content, and targeting, they are selling thermal spray equipment in different industries that need to spray their pipes or equipment or whatnot to protect it in some way, with a powder or with metal or whatnot, right? And so I know it's not local. I know it's not a service. They are selling this thermal spray equipment as this depot. And then they sell the things that go into the thermal spray equipment, because you have to buy the powder and the wire and the different kinds of metal that gets heated up to then spray onto the aircraft engines and whatnot, right? These alloys, ceramics, right? So now I know enough to speak kind of the lingo. So I look at him and I say, well, remember, that's number one, goals, content, and targeting. And this guy, because somebody probably told him, oh, you need to have video or you need to have content because you just have a collection of all these parts. So if I look at combustion wire, here's this wire that gets heated up and then you put it in this thing that heats it up and sprays it, right? Here's all these parts, the Air Trio and PPS2GF, right? You can see what's going on here, right? The nozzle, siphon plug, air plug, all this, right? Whatever the Met Colloy number 1 316 SS is, right? So, I mean, why wouldn't you? Your thermal spray depot, you're going to list all your parts and have pictures of it and say a little something like this. Oh, it handles this kind of wire and that kind of wire, right? Okay, like, why wouldn't you do that? Okay, well, somebody told Bob, well, you need to have video. You need to like talk about, what you do. Okay, so I'm going to pay this guy who knows nothing about my business to interview me about what I do. Listen.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what Thermal Spray Depot supplies and do you manufacture that?
Sure. So Thermal Spray Depot doesn't do any manufacturing and we don't have a job shop. What I like to tell people is kind of my elevator speech when they say, what do I do? I always say I supply the materials and technology to take metals and ceramics, melt them, atomize them, and spray it. So now you spray paint, we spray molten metal or we spray molten ceramics. And the purpose of it is to change the surface.
And so he continues to answer the same kind of question on and on in different ways. And here's a 20-minute video where they go into a little more detail where this guy, who clearly knows nothing about thermal spray, neither do I, interviews this guy in a podcast-like format. Watch.
All right, so Bob, we've been talking a lot, right? You're obviously the thermal spray guy, but let's talk a little bit more about Thermal Spray Depot. Why would somebody go to Thermal Spray Depot?
And he it goes on and on.
Coating shops who set up to do this have the overhead of having the building, all the support people to run.
He goes.
I was actually getting parts coated by another small company. It was a one-man show. The guy wasn't charging enough. He had to be losing money in every part. And I told him, don't stop, don't.
Okay, so the thermal spray guy, Bob, is being interviewed by some kid who is, I mean, as far as he knows, this kid probably, I mean, what do you think about this, Isaac? This kid is interviewing Bob, the thermal spray guy, so that they can create video. And then we come over to the Vimeo and we see.
All right, so Bob, we've been talking a lot, right?
We see there's been 70 views, of which probably 15 of them are mine. But is this helping Thermal Spray Depot?
I don't think so. Sorry, I'm driving, so I'm a little preoccupied.
That's all right. But you hear what's going on. So what?
I do, yeah.
So
I don't think it helps it. It's so long, 20 minutes. And yeah, you said the guy interviewing doesn't even know anything about the topic. And
well, it's not even clear who the guy is. It's just some guy asking Bob questions, right? About thermal spray. Like, why are you the thermal spray guy? And like, it's not like he's a bad guy. He's trying to do his best, just like the other people that build these websites that we've been looking at, right? But what's wrong here?
Honestly, I don't know. Just being too long or what?
Nothing wrong with it being long, because then if we follow the 4-stage content factory and we start with long form video, which is what we like, we can then chop it up into different pieces, turn it into articles and put it on social media and all that. So I actually do like the long form video.
Well, just meaning that's what was on the website
Yeah.
instead of repurposed short form.
Uh-huh.
I actually don't know.
The content isn't, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what his goals are. Might as well be like, Bob, what's your favorite color? It's just, I feel like they're just talking to talk about these things. Like, oh, why would someone choose you? Is like the most generic business question ever.
Well,
They're not asking PAA questions, are they?
I don't
Another-
think the problem is that I'm seeing is he doesn't have the expertise to ask the correct questions to draw out the authoritative statements.
correct. And so because he doesn't have any authority in terms of, he doesn't know enough to ask these kinds of questions, and B, John Smith or whoever this guy's name is, we don't know who it is. Is it on his podcast? Is it just like whatever? As far as we can tell, this guy is some freelancer video podcaster who is well-meaning and is trying to coax Bob to talk about his stuff. You know, Bob's probably like, I'm an old white man and I am afraid of making video and I don't want to show my face. Yeah, I get it. It's a stereotype, but it's true. So, okay, this young adult is going to help Bob answer these kinds of questions. And so this guy will basically ask a question or two, like, what is a thermal spray and what do you do and how are you different? And he's trying to ask these like generic kinds of questions just to be able to paint by the numbers, right? There's nothing technically wrong with that because that can actually generate some okay video, but it doesn't carry authority because he doesn't have the expertise. He's not an industry figurehead. Bob will know other people in the industry that he can invite on his podcast, and he, as the thermal spray guy, can ask questions. Because we know that thermal spray is being used in these different industries, what Bob should do is interview his customers. Interview these people that are, these technicians that are spraying the aircraft and spraying the cars and spraying hot metal at the oil or the refinery where they're, you know, the oil rig where they need to keep the seawater from corroding the pipes, right? Tell me some stories. What's it like being on the offshore platform? Isn't that like in the North Sea, like super cold and dangerous? Those conditions are kind of crazy. How are you guys using the thermal spray? Well, the way we're doing it is we're doing this and this. And we buy equipment from you because you have everything. And you have the thermal warehouse, the thermal spray warehouse of all thermal spray depot. You have all the equipment. You're not the manufacturer, but you put all the stuff into one place so that way you can just buy the 5 different things that you need instead of going to 5 different places to try to figure out the things that you need. And we have enough expertise. I can kind of recommend how you build a whole system. This whole, he said platform. We have a whole platform where we can, you know, if you use this part with that part and this way, and then this is how, you know, and then it'll cost you this much, but then you can, you know, depreciate and amortize it. And here's, I know, you know what? I know another guy who does an oil rig and this is the way they do it. Have you thought about doing it this way? So I can kind of consult with you a little bit and then you buy your parts and supplies from me. And I'm Bob, I'm the guy, and this is the thing that I do. Oh, okay. So if he interviews his customers, does that not carry more EEAT than some random dude asking him questions about what is the thermal spray? Look at this. Look.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what Thermal Spray Depot supplies and
Who the hell are you to be asking Bob? Clearly you're being paid to ask Bob these questions because Mr. Bob is afraid. I know Bob will watch this. Mr. Bob, you're afraid of just coming out and saying what you do and interviewing your customers. You're afraid of screwing up technology and whatnot. So, you know, you hire some young kid who looks like Parker to ask him these questions, right? And then this website is so old, copyright 2017, right? Somebody here made this website. I'm sure it looked fine back then, but if you can tell this website was made way back when, right? And then the website doesn't rank on anything. It's got a DR3, it ranks on 89 keywords. Why does it rank on 89 keywords? Now 125 keywords? Because it doesn't satisfy EEAT. Yes, I appreciate the Band-Aid attempt to interview Bob, but that's not being seen anywhere. There's been 70 views of that video. I'm sure there's more people that could see this in these different industries. What I need to do is, in this case, because it's not local and because it's very niche specific, I need to target the people who are buying this equipment. I would take the list, because Bob's been doing it forever. I would take a list of all the customers that have ever bought, turn to a custom audience, and then target lookalikes against it. Then I would target the people that are the welders and the people, I'm sure there's some like certification to be certified as like an arc welder. Like you don't just buy this equipment and start using it. I'm sure there's some sort of training. I would partner with whatever that association or industry or conference is, and I would target all these people on LinkedIn. I would send them gifts using our $1 a day method, which is, face socks, all that kind of stuff. I would build these relationships. I'd interview these people in each of these industries. Why? Because people that are in oil and gas know the other people in oil and gas. People in aerospace, they know the other people that are working on aircraft and landing gears and other things, right? They know each other. So if I interview this one company who's makes landing gears, and then all the other people that make landing gear or who do business with whoever makes the landing gear is going to respect so-and-so that Bob is interviewing, right? Because it's by industry. So Bob can then become the guy among these people, find a lighthouse that's buying his stuff in each of these industries, interview them. And then the medical people, they all know the other medical people. And I'd advertise to the people who go to that conference. Maybe there is a thermal spraying conference, but I think the biggest, the easiest, most obvious thing to do is go by industry. And he's got customers in each of these industries. I prioritize by industry. Then he's interviewing people here, and that gives him more content. It's more believable content. It's higher authority. It's more relevant. Then number two, so number one is industry. Create content by industry, people, podcast, interview them on Zoom. Number two is because he's the depot and he's bringing all the manufacturers together and suppliers of the powder and wire and these different, these guys are making these different systems that spray hot metal, heat it up and spray it, right? I would interview these manufacturers. So let's see. Powders by Metco. Metco powder. Okay, so Metco makes powder, right? I bet you their thing sucks. Here's Metco. Oh, actually, they're strong. Wow. But I'm sure he works with somebody over there, and then he can interview the guy that he works with at Metco and say, hey, what's going on with the latest in this aluminum powder or that kind of powder or whatever it is, right? Or Lacan. Oh, they got bought by somebody maybe, huh? That's why. Metco. Oh, no, they really don't have any power. Metco Industries. Here we go. Wow. Pennsylvania, also where he is, the powdered metal capital of the world. All right. So, okay. The one I was looking at was not the one. This is the one. So these guys have a factory and they do powdered metal. It looks pretty big, right? 150,000 square feet here. And they do this in automotive. So Metco seems like a really good partner of this guy, right? Because he's talking about Metco powder and all this. And yeah, people could go to Metco and buy it, but why not buy all your stuff from the depot? Like, why go to, the reason you go to Home Depot instead of like going to like the 5 different places is I can get it all in one place at Home Depot and then talk to someone who's kind of knowledgeable, right? So, and maybe, in bulk, maybe like Metco won't allow you to buy stuff individually if you're some contractor, right? Maybe they will. Quality equipment, safety, like suppliers. Yeah, they work through suppliers. So these are competitors probably that Bob has. Who are his competitors? Let's see. See, their website is crap. They probably have not updated this in a long time. So if we look at archive.org and see how often this website's been changed, I bet you it's not been changed in like 10 years. It's had like no updates. Oh no, they've actually updated parts of it, but no major changes. This website's been around forever. Wow. Well, 138 times it's been saved, but there've been no changes. Any changes? There's so many different like people will obsess about these different tools. The issue is not the tools. The issue is knowing when to use different tools. Okay, so they did have a change here, August 3rd, 2022. And okay, here they changed it a couple times, but let's go look at how the website looked 7 years ago. I bet you it looks the same. They're going to make us pay for the snapshot. Let's see. This is too slow. Okay, so that, all right, the website still look the same, basically. It's terrible. Huh. Yeah, so I would, so number one, I'd go by industry. Number two, I would go with the suppliers. And Bob should just get a decent microphone. Anything that's close to your mouth, even a Blue Yeti will work, which is what everyone else does, and start interviewing his top suppliers and top customers and put them onto the website, put the website on WordPress, which he's got, and hire someone on Upwork for $800 to fix it, and also put in digital plumbing and whatnot, which we have as a standard. And it has no analytics and it has no tags. So that's my recommendation to Mr. Bob. Very easy to fix. Okay. That was not local SEO. That requires advanced knowledge to do what I just did. Not as advanced as these other guys, as you saw. You know, they do advanced SEO. I don't. I'm just very basic. I only show basic things, like you can see. Things that are very obvious, right? Okay. So we're going to chop up these audits and publish them as web pages and then send them to our friends, because Bob, I was supposed to meet this morning, but it was my bad. I missed it. So we're going to send him this and then chop up the one for Brittany so she can see this as well and see that she's, I don't want to say scammed. It sounds so bad. It's emotionally charged, but let's just say she's been overpaying and not been getting results, whatever you want to call that. Okay. I love seeing people, you know, like Isaac or Taylor or David, have their eyes opened and see it wasn't really technical at all. It wasn't a technical issue. You know what I mean? You've just been misled into thinking there's all this technology involved. I won't deny that there's some tools that we use, but you have to admit that the basics of what I'm saying are so common sense, you can't argue them. Right? I can go toe-to-toe with anyone that wants to go into the technical weeds, but I always love to stick with the basics. For example, there's no need for these plumbing HVAC companies to talk about the intricate detail of a heating coil or whatnot. Just talk in the customer's language. Show examples of you doing the work. Why don't we start with that? The most basic thing. Show you doing work with the client. Show yourself doing the thing that you say that you do. Most aren't doing that. Okay. Any questions, thoughts, comments before we wrap up?
Last night's video was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so cool to watch because it all just absolutely made sense, and it brought so much together with a lot of these new technologies.
Which video? Jensen Huang?
Yes.
Jensen Huang's amazing.
Yeah,
I saved that video because Stanford took it down. He said too much. I think they didn't say why they took it down, but I'm sure he revealed a little bit too much, like how he thinks and how he manages his people and how he thinks about competition. And they're the third most valuable company in the world, NVIDIA. And I posted it in the Office Hours group. Yeah, listen to how guys like that think. It's just on another level.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
better. He's like, how does he think about problems? And he talked about first principles. Wow. I feel like a child. I feel like I'm mentally handicapped after listening to him. Right?
yeah.
Just makes me a better thinker. I just want to be able to think better like that. Solve problems just like so. And it's not like he's this crazy genius. He just breaks it down into a way where it's like, it makes so much sense. I've been binge watching Jensen Huang.
First time I've seen him, it's and as he says, I set the bar low. I've never heard that before that, but yeah, you want to fail. I mean,
yeah. And he said resilience was more important than, genius, skill, valedictorian stuff, because you have to fail. The thing that got me, so everyone who has context, is most people just, okay, like give me something specific, like why were you so enamored? Well, he said that today we are consuming pre-recorded content. Almost all the content that we consume on the internet and through whatever mode is pre-recorded content because of the nature of how things are stored, right? But in 5 years from now, it's going to flip, and the majority of the content that we consume will be generated content. What does that mean? It means of all the information out there, it doesn't replace search, but there's going to be in the cost of processing when it goes to zero allows the engine to AI to generate an answer just for you in just that moment. Instead of the idea of a search engine where it's like, it'll find like one answer on what's the best food to eat or what's that answer will be personalized to you. You and I can ask the same question, we'll get a different result because that answer is personalized to you. It is true, 12 years ago, Google changed the search results to be personalized. They didn't change the UI, but we talked to some of the engineers at Google about that. And the idea is that information can be personalized based on whether you're logged in, based on your search history, based on what your friends are doing and all that. Social media news feeds are similar to that because they're personalized based on who your friend, you know, all of our feeds are different because of who we're connected to and what we click on and that kind of thing. But they take it to the next level. Imagine that there's this layer of all this information that's being gathered, which then enables things like search engines to exist, which enables social media networks to exist, which is a layer built on top of search, which then enables generative LLM content to exist. LLM content doesn't replace social, doesn't replace search. It's another layer in the cake on top of that. Just like Microsoft, what is the second most valuable company in the world? People don't think about Microsoft Windows or Microsoft, the you know, Internet Explorer browser or whatever. But Microsoft never went away. It was just one layer that everything else was built on top of. Google never went away. There's just layers that are being built on top of other layers. So people who say ChatGPT is going to replace Google, they don't have the historical context to understand. In the same way, NVIDIA doesn't eliminate Intel, right? But you can go really deep into what he's saying and just, he says it so powerfully, so simply. It just makes you say, damn, that's, cannot argue. Like, yeah, you're right. You're right. No wonder you're the CEO of a multi-trillion-dollar company. Yeah, that's right. No one's even heard of him, NVIDIA, unless you're in the know. Third most valuable company in the world. And who knows Jensen Huang? Is he out there launching rockets and doing private jet kind of like show off my money? No, he's wearing the same black jacket every single day. He's as humble as they come. But the dude's a boss. But I bet you the kids on Instagram are more likely to follow the sales bro who's completely broke than Jensen Huang. Because Jensen Huang isn't glitzy, but man, he is powerful. I would listen to Jensen Huang. I am a Jensen Huang fanboy. If that's not enough,
absolutely.
go look. Like, just spend 10 minutes listening to. I posted in the office hours group, our private group. I didn't post it publicly because I don't want. I'm kind of, I don't know, jealous in that way. I don't want all of our people to. I don't want everyone to know about some of the things that I think are really cool. Some things I'll share. This one I'm not sharing. I'm not sharing it publicly because I want us to be able to think this way. Yeah. All right. Other thoughts, questions? Looks like David, you were going to say something.
I am. So, you know, I've got a full-time job. I mean, I try to consume your content, and then I signed up for Daryl Eves' course, and I'm trying to consume that content and just get everything kind of going, right? I finally figured out the hack to hire VAs on online jobs. I mean, it took a while. It took me a couple months to figure it out, but if anyone's struggling with it, just go in and change the pay, just change something in it and it'll update and you'll start getting a bunch of resumes in.
Yep.
However, with that being said, I mean, I made the mistake of hiring an SEO person, and I don't want to do it anymore. You know, it's everything that you just said, right? You know, I paid for a package and they try to upgrade the package and they did absolutely zero on my website.
Right.
So I want to hire someone through onlinejobs.ph, but I'm not sure what I'm looking for. I'm not
You
sure
want a
what to
content
tell them
VA.
to do.
They're going to work in the content
Yeah.
factory. You never hire for SEO. The minute they say SEO, the minute they believe they're doing SEO, run, because they're going to try to do it their way, which is not the correct way.
Okay.
Why reinvent the wheel?
So-
Why come up with like a new way to hire VAs? We already know how to hire VAs. The guy who created onlinejobs.ph is a good friend of ours, and we've collected. It's not a secret. Even he said, yeah, if you posted something a couple weeks ago and you want more applicants, go on and just change like one little word and it'll act like a new thing, a new job post. Yeah, that's not a secret. We've known that. It's in our training. It's been there forever for 15 plus years.
Oh yeah. I
It's
didn't pay
there.
attention to that section. Sorry.
For you, it was
So-
new, but we've known it all along. We've shared it. It's well documented. This whole path, you know, the path is success. You know, you've heard success leaves clues. The path is well paved.
Right.
You want to be bigger on YouTube? Yes, follow Daryl Eves, who coaches Mr. Beast. Daryl's a good buddy of mine. He wrote a book called The YouTube Formula, and he's got a coaching program on top of that. But he's also got a bunch of
Right.
free YouTube videos where he interviews these creators and looks at their stats. And the main point, if you read all this stuff and go through all this coaching, is you've got to get the retention. You got to get people to stay, you know, initially, and then all the way through. And there's things that you do to look at your stats to make sure people are staying. That's it. It's to please the algorithm. And there's all
So
nuance.
yes. So that kind of leads into my question, right? So Daryl's all about like finding out what the framework is in the video that garners that audience retention. So my question for you for the SEO side, because I think once everything comes together and meets at that fork of the road, it's gonna be amazing. But I wanted to, so if I hire a content VA, I put them on the Content Factory and say, hey, follow these steps and do everything. I mean, how do I follow up with them? Is there like a
You've not gone through the
VA that
Content
you have
Factory
that?
training. We're doing something called reinventing the wheel right now.
Okay.
Because you haven't gone through any of the training. So you want me to explain? And it's not that I don't want to
No,
tell.
no, I've
secret.
gone through the training. It's just
Listen.
hour-long videos and 2-hour
Yeah,
long
you need to
videos. It's
understand
a
the
lot of
strategy.
videos.
Why do you think
Okay.
Daryl has a book? Why do you think he's got a whole coaching program? You want the shortcut? There isn't one, but I'll summarize it this way. If someone's working on your content, it's based on the quality of the ingredients they get. If they're a chef and you don't give them good ingredients, if you're not clear, David, on your goals, content, and targeting, no chef can overcome that. We like to say you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shiitake, right? You have to be
Right.
very clear and have proof that you're good at the thing that you do. Not just talking about mortgages. Lots of people are talking about mortgages. How is Mr. Beast so popular? Because he's got something that's worth talking about and he's giving away money. But he couldn't give away, you know, his $5 million on Amazon unless he actually started out by giving away $100, right? You have to have something that's worthwhile, which goes back to EEAT, niche focusing, goals, content, and targeting. It always starts with that. If that's in the case, if that's true, the Content Factory is how you amplify. Same thing on YouTube, same thing on Facebook ads, same thing for SEO. They're all amplifying the thing that is working, but you have to start with something that's working. If you don't start with that, no amount of technical trickery is going to overcome that. And I know you want to shortcut that because you keep asking these, like in the last few months, you keep asking these questions. I'm point blanking you. If you want to be the mortgage guy, it's not that you're a YouTube influencer. Show that you're actually helping people in the mortgage space. Deliver real value. Then you can, otherwise, what are you going to make YouTube videos about? You need something to make videos about, something worthwhile. Do the worthwhile. Here, I'll say it in another way that's impossible to miss. Do something worthwhile, then talk about it. So Isaac of Brisker Solutions, the worthwhile thing, talk about people that have sold their land or in a particular situation. To have something worthwhile to talk about, then you can market.
So I've tried that strategy. I have, and that strategy doesn't work, but I know a lot of it has to do with the framework. So I'm literally going back and redoing 200 videos right now.
No, it's not about redoing videos and based on the technique and how you edit. The best performing videos I have ever seen from me or from other friends of mine have zero editing. If the quality is high, you do not, if you have high quality meat, you do not need to like chop it up and season it and what you just, it's the quality of the ingredients. Promise you. I promise,
Okay.
promise you, David.
I mean, I'm just in this niche every single day, and it just seems like everything's so repetitive, right? It really does. Like one of the things that I'm really struggling with is why am I doing this, right? Why? That's the first thing that Daryl asks is, why are you doing this? What value do you have to offer?
Yeah, because then the why story comes out and there's emotion that's tied to the result that you achieve. And the combination of achieving the result and having a clear why, just like what Taylor talked about, Jensen Wang talked about, your why, question your why every day and make sure, reaffirm it, right? If that's the case, that creates passion around something. You see how passionate I am about helping people in digital marketing? It's not because I drank a Red Bull. It's not drinking 5 Red Bulls a day. It's because I believe in this, and I believe in this for many years. And it shows through in the expertise and experience.
Okay.
That's you're still
right,
back.
yeah.
You're still back at square one, even though you keep trying to leave square one. You need to solve square one first.
Yeah, I want to jump straight to square 10. That's
I
the
know
problem.
you want all the tricks, and what if I hire this guy? And like that's why weight loss coaches exist. That's why there's so many people that are hiring these random people that we just saw, right? Because they don't want to do square one. Square one in
That's
the
always been
stage one of the content factory is getting the right ingredients. If that's not there, stop. Don't worry about all the other things that happen in stages 2, 3, and 4. It's a domino thing. If the first thing's not right, it doesn't matter what happens. See what I know I'm repeating myself, but I know where you are, and I've heard thousands of people, David, who've been in your situation try to argue with me about this. And most 99%
Oh, I'm
of
not
the
going to argue
people,
with you.
they don't listen. But they still keep doing this other thing. I'm like, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
Interview people that are
I'll
successful, other people that are successfully doing the thing, not because they're a YouTuber, okay? But in your industry, it always starts with industry level success.
okay. So having those interviews would be, because I mean, I have a lot of people I can interview. So I need to have
Here's
more
what I want you to
interviews.
do.
I mean, I was thinking like I needed to be on stage and talk and have
Oh, you
cameras
don't.
all over me and all that other stuff.
No, that's where you're getting in the trouble.
Okay.
Look at I have articles and videos. I know there's like more and more to consume, but there's something called the 3 components of authority. Study that.
Okay.
And you'll see what will work for you. 3 components of authority. Then you interview these people. And yes, you can have it in a nicer video and all that kind of stuff, but make sure all that ties into your topic wheel. Your topic wheel ties into your why, right? Topic wheel, personal brand, why,
Okay.
highlighting people that are successful. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, that whole thing.
Got it.
All right. Do
All right,
that.
no more shortcuts for me.
Yeah, I promise you, get the fundamentals right. The way to tell whether someone's a pro or not is whether they focus on the fundamentals. I'm telling you, people like LeBron James or Steph Curry, they just do the fundamentals all day long. Promise you.
Gotcha.
And I know a lot of people that are the top in the world in different industries. They just do the fundamentals all day long. I promise you.
I think the problem is that I must have listened to Carl White a little too much. And he's like, it's not the always looking for the who that's going to be able to just do it and take it off my plate.
Carl White makes a living by creating FOMO, right? He's very entertaining. He says things in a way that gets people to feel like, he's a comedian, basically. He's like a Gary Vaynerchuk.
Right.
And
Right.
yes, if you have the basics right, you can jump on all the latest. Carl White's always talked about what the latest thing is, and he makes it sound like it's some new secret that will get you rich immediately. Yeah, well, there's a reason people listen to Carl White, and most of them aren't successful.
Yeah, he's the bro. He's the bro, like you said. That's what I'm starting to do.
People are dangling the shortcuts, and they're very attractive. Yes, he's mesmerizing for sure.
Okay.
But the
All right, this
fundamentals
makes
are not sexy. The fundamentals will always work. They're always there. It's not the latest hack. Stop chasing those things.
Okay. All right. Okay. So is there
Share your
can you
status.
think, so can you think of any way to leverage like this whole NAR lawsuit?
Oh, that's basically crowd surfing or newsjacking. You can, but I don't care about the tactical things until you get the strategy right. You're still like, no matter what I'm saying, you're still trying to jump to some trick or tactic. Like, no matter what I'm saying, you won't listen to me. I get it. Well, what about this one tactic? I heard that there's this thing that you can do in Instagram Reels where if you like, yes, that is true, but not for you.
Got it.
Yeah, but
No,
the
I'm
NAR
a-
lawsuit, all these people are talking about the NAR. Yeah, I know. A lot of people are telling me about that. I know. And I've got lots of thoughts on what to do with it, but not for you.
Stick to the fundamentals. I got it.
I
I'll
get-
at least
Trying to say-
I'll at least watch all these videos to the end and take a bunch of notes.
Yeah. I've told you what you need to do, but there's a high likelihood you won't do it because you're so distracted by what some cool new thing is. I'm telling you point blank. David, I've seen 1,000 Davids more that are in your situation. And I'm telling you, just from statistics, I've seen it 1,000 times. Some of them are able to change, most of them don't. My hope is that you're in that 1% that is able to change. But most people who like to chase shiny objects will continue to chase shiny objects, even if you tell them point blank, like I'm telling you right now. Because it's
Okay.
so attractive. It's like fat people continue to be fat. They just
Well, I'm gonna prove you wrong, Dennis. I'm gonna prove you wrong.
do it. and put your updates in the group.
Okay.
Tell real stories, interview other people that are experts in that area, share success. Share their success. Have the attitude of gratitude. Abundance mindset. Okay. Follow up on the things that I mentioned.
All right.
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
Appreciate it, Dennis. Thanks,
All right,
man.
been 2 hours and change on this one. It's supposed to be 30 minutes, but all right. Updates in the group. All right. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yep. Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you,
I-
Dennis.
Talk soon.
Bye.